Hello, friends from across the nation and around the world. I'm Martin, and you are listening to Dad's Bedtime Stories. Tonight is a very special episode because for the first time ever, I'm going to be reading someone else's story. And I really think you guys are going to like it because it is about a boy who basically meets a talking dog who's lived a really long time. But before we get to the story itself, I thought we'd hear from the author to see what he has to say about the story. So let's check that out now.
Well, the book is based on stories that I told my eldest grandson. He had moved away, and he would call me every night for a puppy story, which is what he called me. And I'd come up with different stories for him on the phone every night because I'd done it while he was here. And his favorite stories were the adventures of Jimmy and Andrew, these stories that I based the books on. So that's what I decided to write about, was his favorite. Actually, it was my former wife and my daughter who suggested that I put the stories in writing. And I'd written nonfiction for years. I've written a lot, and I just had written a book back in 2007, Identics, Alternative Therapy, but I'd never written fiction. But I been a storyteller forever. So it was a very interesting time for me, becoming a fiction writer and writing these stories. And the story was actually based on a dog that we had when I was a kid, that my dad adopted at the pound. And the dog was very, very intelligent, and also was a mutt, orange and black mutt. And so that's that's what I based the character on. And the character, the dog, Andrew, is not a normal dog, a little bit more than just smart. The dog is immortal, and he was born in Egypt over 3,000 years ago. And he always felt that afterwards that there was something before that life, but he could never quite put his finger on it. He just woke up in a litter of puppies, and that was his first memory. And so part of the story line that goes through all the books is him trying to figure out where he came from, how he's this, find others of his kind. And he'd been searching the earth for over 3,000 years, and then he ends up at a dog pound in San Diego, and a little boy by the name of Jimmy adopts him. And this is the first time in all these lifetimes that he's finally starts to get clues to his elusive origins. And he's had many companions over the centuries, some of whom can hear him. He can hear humans. He's able to hear humans and dogs, but most people can't hear him, but a few can. And he's run into some over the centuries, and this boy Jimmy can. So that's what the stories are about. And the first adventure is called, the first story is American Stonehenge, it's called, because the boy's parents, who are both archaeologists, there's a discovery in the remote forests of northern Washington of a fully intact duplicate of Stonehenge in England. And it's been covered in trees and shrub, and also nobody had known about it. And so they're going up there to excavate it, and they take Jimmy and his new canine companion, Andrew, up with them. And they have to solve this mystery of where this came from and how it got there. And that's the first adventure. But as it goes in all the books and all the adventures, that it goes between the current adventure, like this one, American Stonehenge, and other episodes in the dog's long life, since he's lived over 3 millennia. And it also ties in to the current adventure.
Amazing. And tonight we're going to read chapters 1 and 2 of American Stonehenge, where, the dog is born and Jimmy gets to meet him. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more of it, I actually do have permission to read up to chapter 4, so we could do one more episode of it. Just comment and let me know if you want to do that. Otherwise, you can check up chapters 1 through 4 on his website, jimmyandandrew.com, or, of course, you can buy the book, too. But now, it's that time again. Time to get as comfy as you can in that bed. Close your eyes and imagine yourself doing what the kid in the story does. The Adventures of Jimmy and Andrew, Book 1, American Stonehenge, by Mike Goldstein. Chapter 1, A Mysterious Birth, Egypt, circa 1350 BCE. He woke up confused, so intensely confused that it reverberated to his very core. He couldn't see anything at all, which made his disorientation even more severe. Who was he? Where was he? How did he get here? What had happened to him? Panic came over him in increasingly powerful waves, until it was abruptly supplanted by another, stronger sensation that urgently demanded all of his attention: hunger. He was beyond hungry. He was famished. He had to get some kind of food right now, somehow. He realized that there were others around him. He felt them squirming and wriggling, and heard them making whimpering noises. He could tell that they were as hungry as he was. Somehow, he didn't know how, he could also tell that there were 4 of them. Suddenly, he smelled food. He didn't recognize what kind, but it didn't matter. It was warm and near, and the smell of it drove him mad with need. He pushed himself toward the smell, and when it was as close to his nose as he could get, he bit onto it and felt the most delicious liquid pour through him. It was the most astonishing soup he could imagine, like magic, whatever it was. In the relief of that taste, he realized there was someone else there, apart from the 4 whimperers. There was someone feeding him this wonderful, healing, comforting, delicious liquid. It was a she, and as he relaxed into the comfort of being fed, he realized that she loved him. Above the sound of the wriggling whimpers around him, he heard her say, silently, "I love you. Eat. Rest. Be safe, my babies." He ate and slept for the next week or so. All he did was eat and sleep and snuggle with the warm, furry bodies that surrounded him. Then, the day came when he woke up and could see. His eyes had opened. The warm, furry bodies that had been snuggling around him were still there, and so was the big, loving one who had been feeding them all. The little furry ones were also opening their eyes and peeking around. He looked down at himself and realized that he, too, had furry paws. He looked back and saw that he had a tail, just like the others. "I must be one of them," he thought. He had an urge to get up and walk, and when he tried, his little legs and paws were unsteady. But he persisted and pushed himself up into a standing position. His snuggle mates were still lying down, and he nudged the nearest one with his nose. "Hey," he thought, "we can get up now. Try it. Come on." But all he could sense in response was confusion. His own legs were still wobbly, but cautiously, tentatively, he put one paw out and shifted his weight to it. It worked. He repeated the process a few more times and looked back to check his progress. From the big, loving one who had been feeding him, and all of them from her own body, he felt a gush of pride and love. "Strong one," he heard in his head. Soon, he was walking pretty confidently, but not too far. Looking back, he had noticed that the other little ones were beginning to fumble up uncertainly from the hard ground. He tried again to perceive some message from them, but could sense only a mumbling and slightly fearful confusion. He walked back to them to show them how easy it was, and 2 of them looked up, but only for a moment. Again, he walked a little distance away and turned back, thinking, "See? It's easy. Come on, try it. Like this." but he could see that all of their focus was on the challenge of simply trying to stand. He turned his attention to the loving, feeding one. She gently stood and stepped toward him. "Oh boy," he thought, "let's go explore. Let's roll around." But the big one, still sending him a warm flow of pride and love, tenderly turned him back. "Too far for now," she thought. "Stay." He wanted to play, and he wanted playmates, but the others were not ready to join him, and he realized that he'd have to wait. He decided to pass the time by giving the other names. One of them was a female with one black ear, and he decided to call her Black Ear. Another was a male who was lighter brown than any of the rest, so he called him Tan. A third had a white paw, so he called her Whitefoot, and the last one had a bushier tail than the rest, and he called him Fuzzy Tail. A full day passed before the others were on their feet and beginning to take steps. Another day passed before they were confident enough to play, and he leapt into the play with a cheerful heart. For the rest of the day, he and his four mates rolled and nipped and fell all over each other. It was their best day so far. Soon, however, he got a little bored with rolling and nipping and couldn't help feeling puzzled. He had a dim, gnawing sense that there'd been something before all of this, but he couldn't remember it. He tried to ask Fuzzy Tail, "Where did we all come from?" But the only response he got was, "Play, nip, let's roll over. Watch me roll, roll. Fall down, oh boy." He wondered if there was something wrong with Fuzzy Tail, and he turned to the others, but they sounded just like Fuzzy Tail, except that Black Ear added, "Food? Food? Oh boy." He realized that they were all very much like each other, but he was not like them. He turned to the big, loving, feeding one. She must know. She was taking care of them all, and she continued to feed them out of her own amazing body. She must have the answers. "Where did I come from?" he thought out to her. "Why am I not like the others?" She licked him and poured forth the same stream of love and comfort that she always had. "Don't you hear me?" he thought. She licked him again. With a sinking feeling, he realized that she couldn't really hear him. She knew that he was troubled, but she couldn't answer him. He could hear the others, but they couldn't really hear him. He knew that they all loved him and that the big one would take care of him for a time, but in some profound way, he was on his own. He would have to find the answers to his questions somewhere else. Chapter 2. Meeting. The Adventures Begin. San Diego, July 5th, 2007. He woke up excited, so intensely excited that he shot up in bed. Today was the day. It was his 9th birthday, and he was finally going to get a dog. For as long as he could remember, he'd longed for a dog. It was the most vivid, urgent need he'd ever felt. He'd begged his parents for a dog almost as soon as he could talk, but his father had always said he wasn't old enough. When he was 6, his father had given him a gerbil, which was not at all what he wanted, and his disappointment was too keen not to show. "I know you wanted a dog, Jimbo, but you're still just not quite old enough." "Well, I'll be old enough when I'm 9, right?" "Well, sure. 9's old enough to take care of a dog." From that moment on, Jimmy's heart had been fixed on this exact day as the moment when he would realize his dream. Right after breakfast, they were going to the Humane Society, where he'd get to pick out his dog. He splashed water on his face, brushed his teeth too quickly, got dressed at record speed, and raced into his parents' bedroom. He leaped onto the bed in between his parents. "Come on, Dad, get up. We're going to get my dog." His mother sleepily pulled him next to her and gave him a big hug. "Happy birthday, Jimmy." His father reached over and tousled his hair. "Happy birthday, Jimbo. What are you now, 8? "I'm 9, Dad." "Oh, that's right, 9. Man, we're gonna go get you a gerbil, right?" "Dad, we're getting a dog. I had a gerbil when I was 6. "Yeah, and you left the cage open and it ran away. Now, if you're gonna have a dog, you're gonna have to be responsible and take good care of it." "I was just a little kid then. I'm way older now. I can take care of a dog, no problem. I'll feed it, I'll take it for walks, I'll play with it. Let's go." "Go downstairs and play for a few minutes, honey," said his mother. "We'll get dressed and come right down, and I'll make you birthday pancakes." At the breakfast table, Jimmy took one huge mouthful of pancakes and then choked out, "Okay, I'm done. Let's go." "Not so fast," his mother said. "Slow down, chew, swallow. Your dog will still be there after you eat breakfast. We don't even know if the Humane Society is open yet." "Remember, Dad, I get to pick the dog out." "Of course," said his father. "But I'm gonna tell you a little secret, Jimbo. Instead of you picking the dog out, let the dog pick you out." "What do you mean, pick me out?" "Well, when we get there, just walk by the cages. Look at the dogs and you'll know when one picks you out. You'll know." They arrived at the Humane Society just as it opened for business. At the front desk, there was one gray-haired old lady and 2 women that Jimmy thought were about his mother's age. They all wore green t-shirts with name tags on them. The dark-haired woman with dreadlocks, whose name tag said Deanna, smiled at Jimmy's father and said, "Welcome to the Humane Society. How can I help you today?" "It's not me. This is your customer right here," his father said. Deanna looked down at Jimmy. "I'm sorry, young man. How can I help you?" "I'm here to get a dog, ma'am." "Well, we have plenty of those. Follow me." She came out from behind the front counter and led them through a heavy door. They entered a long hallway with a cement floor and a long row of cages. Jimmy looked up at his father and Deanna and asked, "Is it okay if I do this myself?" Deanna said, "Of course. Your dad and I will wait up front, and when you choose one, let us know." "Actually, when one chooses me," Jimmy corrected her. "Good point. Let us know when one chooses you." The 2 adults turned and went back through the heavy door to the front desk. Jimmy slowly began to walk past the cages. The first dog was a tiny, hairless thing, smaller than a cat, that yapped and yapped and hopped and hopped. Jimmy shook his head and kept walking. The second dog he saw was a big shepherd mix with a very deep bark. Jimmy jumped back a step and kept walking. As he passed each cage, the dogs would bark at him, but he felt that they were just barking for the sake of barking. He didn't feel that they were actually choosing him. After walking past several more cages, Jimmy came to a dog with a long gold mane who was sleeping with her chin on her paws. While Jimmy stood gazing at her, he suddenly heard a voice. "Someone please get me out of here." Jimmy spun around and there was nobody there. Then he heard it again. "Somebody help get me out of this place. Please. Jimmy turned back to the cages and noticed a funny-looking dog looking up at him from the next cage to the sleeping dog. This dog was standing and staring intently at Jimmy. He had an orange crest of hair on the top of his head, almost like a rooster's, as if someone had given him a bad mohawk. He was a mid-sized dog, and his fur was a patchwork of orange and black, of varying lengths. One black ear stood up and the other flopped down. His jet-black nose stood out against his orange muzzle. He had a tail like a whippet's, long and thin and black, that curved out like a question mark. His paws were all black. He looked as though he were wearing boots. He had one blue eye and one green eye, and the difference was accentuated by eyebrows, one gray and one brown. But most startling of all was the intensity of the gaze that fixed on Jimmy and met his eyes. It seemed to emanate purpose and intelligence. As Jimmy looked at this dog in surprise, he again heard the same voice, but this time he realized that it was in his head. "Can you hear me? You can hear me, can't you?" In amazement, Jimmy asked the odd-looking creature, "Is that you talking to me?" The dog leaped up with his paws on the cage, and again Jimmy heard in his head, "Yes, it's me. Now just get me out of here. If you don't get me out of here, they're gonna kill me." Jimmy cried out, "Kill you? What do you mean? They're not gonna kill you." "Listen, kid, this place is crowded. They don't have enough cages. Once a dog has been in here for too long and there are newer dogs coming in, the ones that haven't been adopted get taken away and they never come back. I heard them talking about put them to sleep. They made it sound very humane, but dead is dead and I want to live." Jimmy said, "You're a dog. How can you be talking to me, and how come I can hear you but your mouth isn't moving?" "First of all, my mouth isn't moving because I'm not talking. Dogs don't talk. What you're hearing are my thoughts, and I can hear yours too. And why we can communicate this way, I'll explain it later. But right now, we don't have much time. They've got new dogs coming in, and Sleeping Beauty here and I are the next to go. So I'll take questions later. For now, just get me out of here." Jimmy said, "You mean you're choosing me?" "Yes, of course I choose you. You can hear me, so you're it. Just grab one of those ladies with the name tags and tell them you're adopting me." Excitedly, Jimmy turned and said over his shoulder, "Okay, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Wait here." "Go anywhere? Where am I gonna go? I'll still be here. Just go on." Jimmy raced back through the heavy door where Deanna and his father were chatting. "I got one. I want to adopt that one, right there. It's really important." He grabbed his father's hand and yanked him back through the door, down the corridor to the cage where the dog was waiting. Deanna followed right behind. His father looked at the dog and turned to Jimmy in disbelief. "You want that one?" he said. "But Jimmy, there are so many nice dogs here to choose from. There's a handsome shepherd mix over there that would make a great watchdog, or what about this pretty miniature collie over here? Doesn't she look nice?" "Yes, Dad, but this one chose me. He really did, just like you said he would. This is the one." Deanna broke in. "You know, all the staff really like this dog. They call him Halloween because he's orange and black. They all say that he's smart and easy to work with, but he just hasn't been adopted up until now. In fact, She turned to Jimmy's father. "If he doesn't find a home today," her voice trailed off. "Then they're gonna put him asleep," Jimmy cried. "You mean to sleep," his father corrected. Deanna looked with puzzled curiosity at Jimmy, wondering how he could possibly have known. "Well, Jimmy, if that's the one you want, we'll take him," his father said. Jimmy looked down at the dog triumphantly and said, "Hey, we did it! You're going home with me!" In the voice that only Jimmy could hear, the dog replied, "Fantastic! We can't get out of here too soon for me. Nice people and all, but let's go." Deanna said, "Let's get the leash on your dog and you can take him outside and get acquainted while your father and I do some paperwork." Jimmy's father said, "Just take him outside. Don't go too far. Wait by the parking lot near our car and I'll be out as soon as I'm done." Deanna opened the cage, pulled a leash out of her pocket, and hooked it onto the dog's collar. They all headed back to the front where Jimmy took the leash and led his new friend outside. Heading for the car with the leash in his hand, Jimmy jumped for joy and said, "Not only do I have a dog, but I have one that can talk to me. Sweet." "Sweet?" the dog said. "It's just so incredible that I came just in time and you chose me and we're getting to take you home and it's all so totally awesome. That's what I meant when I said sweet. The last time I was hanging out with a boy your age, he would have said this was groovy or far out." "What? But those are words my grandpa says, and my mom says he was a hippie," Jimmy said in amazement. "Yeah, hippies. I really liked hippies," the dog said. "How old are you anyways?" The dog hesitated. "That's not something we can get into right now. Let's just say I've been around for a while. But your father is going to come out here any minute, and that's a discussion we'll have later." "You said that once before already," Jimmy said. "So I guess we're going to have quite an interesting talk later." "Actually, that brings up one point I wanted to cover sooner rather than later. I know it's easier for you to talk to me out loud, but remember that I can also hear your thoughts just like you can hear mine, so you don't actually have to talk out loud. And when we're around other people, remember that they can't hear me the way that you can. And they'll think you're nuts if they only hear your half of the conversation. So, work on just talking to me with your thoughts, especially when we're around others." "Okay," said Jimmy. They'd arrived at the car, and while Jimmy leaned against the hood, the dog sat down in front of him on the grassy patch of lawn next to the parking lot. It was a sunny summer day, and they were shaded by the silvery blue foliage of the eucalyptus tree Jimmy's father had parked under. Jimmy took a deep breath, drawing in the tree's sweet fragrance until it filled his lungs, when suddenly he thought of something else. "Hey, I have to come up with a name for you. Did you like being called Halloween?" "No, I hated that name. It was ridiculous." "Well, how about if I call you Duke?" "How about if I call you Duke?" the dog quickly replied. Jimmy laughed. "But my name is Jimmy." And he heard right back, "And my name is Andrew." "Oh, I like that name." Jimmy knelt down and took Andrew's paw in his hand and shook it solemnly. "Pleased to meet you, Andrew." "Pleased to meet you too, Jimmy."